Confidently controversial. Confidently controversial. Confidently controversial.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
What's this low energy?
It's super
Bring it up. Bring it up.
What?
We're doing a podcast here. And what is this podcast called?
Confidently controversial.
And who are you?
I am Kimberly Tweed.
And who am I? I really want to know. Who am I, Kim?
Emily Paul.
Yes, that's me. Hello and welcome to another great episode of the show where we watch movies again after a long time and we talk about them.
Yeah, and then we have a podcast where we say the word movie way too many times.
You think we say the word movie too many times?
I think so.
Why?
I don't know.
Sometimes when I re-listen to episodes, I am very critical of the way that we speak, and I think I have very limited vocab. Like, I don't even want to say the things I hear, because then I feel if I say them, the people listening are going to be like, yeah.
She's right.
She's
a real dumbo.
Dumbo.
I don't know.
Is a dumbo like an uggo?
Yeah, obviously.
Excellent. Well, I do want to just from the top of the show, from the very start, I just want to thank everybody who's been listening to the show. We love that you're here. We love that you're listening. But you know what? We have a call to action.
All right.
Our call to
action.
action.
Tell the people what to do.
Okay, our call to action is this. You like this show. You listen to this show.
Admit it.
Admit it to yourself. And then what I want you to do is go admit it to others. Tell them about it.
Yeah.
And I want you to get one friend.
Consider this like a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge to you, listener, to go out there and talk to somebody about this podcast.
And then see how influential you actually are.
That's
and
right.
can be. Mm-hmm. Go out and tell a friend about it and tell them they should be listening and get them on the train that is confidently controversial.
Could you be a cult leader? Could you pull people to your side?
Because we couldn't. Well, we definitely couldn't.
Charismatic enough to get people to listen to this podcast? I don't know. Let's find out.
Are you charismatic enough? I love that. So that was my call to action.
Good. Well, I'm glad you told the people what to do.
So what's been going on? It's like, what is it? It's like in the season of almost Christmas.
Yeah, yesterday was Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
Don't you remember?
I do remember now.
Are you still stuffed?
I'm so stuffed, full of delicious turkey and vegan foods.
Oh, yeah.
From our family Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened for sure, and it was wonderful, and I'm sure I'll have more to say about it in our next episode.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, that's great.
But not this one. I'm just not ready to process that information as of yet. But, what's been going on with you, other than Thanksgiving?
I mean, I don't really have much. I was trying to think about it. I was like, what are we going to talk about today? And I was just like, our lives are really boring. And
Speak for yourself.
Okay, tell me what exciting thing you did.
I made a ham.
Oh, excuse me.
It was a spiral cut.
Holy shit. I didn't know you had such skill. Did you have to spiral it yourself?
No, that's not how a spiral cut ham works.
I don't really eat ham.
Okay, I don't know why you don't, because as you know, I'm a big ham fan.
You are a ham fan.
I'm a ham fan, a fangirl for ham. No, you get a spiral cut. I think they put it on some kind of lathe. And it like spirals it up. And then you cook it.
So this is going to be you explaining something regular to me again. So is it all the way cut through?
There's a bone in the middle of it.
A ham bone?
There's a ham bone.
Okay, so there's a ham bone that runs down the middle, and it's all just like
cut, so it's like spiraled
all the way around.
Oh, that's how they cut it. Okay. So it's just like.
And then do you just stick anything between the folds?
I guess you could. Right. I wasn't that
like brown sugar.
I put like a brown sugary glaze on it and some pineapple,
delightful,
and some maraschino cherries because I'm from the 70s.
Did you make some sort of Jell-O mold with it?
I wanted to, right. But I don't even know how to do that. I don't own a Jell-O mold.
No, I'm not a big Jell-O fan.
I like it if someone is just like, here's some Jell-O.
Really?
Yeah, like some nice cold Jell-O. Ew. Like at like a diner.
The consistency of Jell-O makes me gag.
Like if you squish it between your teeth, it's good.
I can feel it getting stuck in my throat right now.
Oh, gross. Okay, sorry. Let's talk about something else.
I went to a delightful craft show yesterday.
Oh my gosh, a craft show. I made a ham. You went to a craft show.
I do. I love a craft show.
So what made it good?
It was good because they were just fine artisans, and they had lovely things like pottery and like there was weaving and crafts and
Okay.
it was just very nice.
Well,
I just love to see how people are so creative. Everybody's so creative.
Everybody's so creative. Well, I just feel like this time of year when it's getting to be Christmassy time, I like those kind of things. And
Yeah.
I love a Christmas decoration.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm not like Christmas all year round or, decorating my house even all year
You
round.
don't decorate outside, do you?
No, we keep it tight.
Tight.
We keep it inside.
Keep that joy for yourself.
Keep that joy all for ourselves. I can't even imagine the wherewithal that it would take to put like Christmas lights on my house or something like that. But
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Anytime I see someone with Christmas lights, I have such gratitude for them because I just feel like they've invested so much of their time just to bring joy to other people.
Yeah, like those people that go all out too, that have like the ones that are like programmed to music and everything.
Oh,
like,
it's great.
Are they actually joyful people, or are they just like obsessive? Like they just like "Ugh, have to do it.
Well, we have a house like that in our neighborhood, and my children look forward to seeing it all the time. And I get the feeling I don't know, there has to be this element of it, knowing that it's bringing joy to other people
Yeah,
and
that
just like
people are
upping the ante for
if
it.
people are outside my house, I'm like, what are they doing? Why are those people? What's that car? What are they doing? But like these people like are just like, come look at our house.
Come look at our
Look how
house.
beautiful we made it.
Oh, I know. And that house, I saw those people out like way before. It was even
Starting.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah,
just
you started
starting
early.
and like putting all the stuff out and getting everything together. And I know they usually start right after Thanksgiving, and then that runs like all the way through New Year's. And it's just so nice.
Yeah, I like the ones, I feel like it's a fairly new thing probably in the last 10 years too, like where you can tune your radio station.
Yes, that's this house. They do that.
They do that?
They do that.
Yeah, there used to be another place that did that, and it's pretty cool. I mean, Christmas in general, thumbs up.
Thumbs up Christmas. Who knew?
Right?
Who knew? It's a pretty great holiday.
It is. There's just, that attempt at joy is always, gets an applause from me.
Yeah, it's like one time a year where you're just like, no, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel good and happy.
And it usually like I feel like at the beginning of November this year, it was like, there was like a switch that flipped.
Because it got dark.
Yeah.
It's called daylight savings
No, I
time.
understand. No, but I'm saying that people were like, I feel like earlier than ever, there were Christmas commercials this year and Christmas decorations, like earlier than they've ever been. And normally I'm the kind of person like, listen, if that's what brings you joy, you just go for it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Start whenever you want. But this year I did feel it was a little too early.
Yeah. But do you feel like people are just like, no, I need a little Christmas right this very minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I understand it, but I also like to save it because I'm just like, no, I don't want to peak too soon.
Yes, and that's why I have those very strict rules
Yeah.
around Christmas,
No, it's
because I
smart.
feel like, so my strict rules are you cannot start watching Christmas movies, listening to the music, decorating until after Thanksgiving.
Which is now.
Right. So that's why I'm fully decorating and doing all of the
Okay.
stuff now.
Sure, of course.
But yeah, so you have those rules, but I think those rules exist because for that whole period of time, I just want to listen to all. I got to get my Bublé on.
That's right.
I love
I
the
do.
Michael Bublé Christmas album. It's just a banger. It brings me so much joy to
Yeah.
listen to it. I have my John Denver and the Muppets.
Right,
I got to
right.
listen to. I got to listen to the Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas songs.
Your Rumpa-Pum-Pums.
My Rumpa-Pum-Pums. I got to listen to, all of this stuff. It's just, I love it so much. My favorite, Barbara Streisand.
Oh, yeah.
Jingle Bells.
Sing it.
Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
That was amazing.
Thank
Great
you.
job. Great
I've
job.
been working on that for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
But man, when that song comes on and I'm in my car by myself,
You're hyped.
like, look out. If anyone was to if I was to stop and someone else saw me, it would be a comedic moment.
If like you had one of those joy meters that was like
Peak joy.
right, it would like be exploding
Peak
at
joy.
the top.
Peak joy. But we're not doing a Christmas movie today. We might be getting into some Christmas movies.
Yeah, I think we
after
will be.
after today. We might dive into some wonderful Christmas films. But for right now, we are going to keep it to a regular movie.
Okay. I'm
A
ready.
non-Christmassy movie. Now, this movie I am very excited to watch with you.
With me specifically?
With you specifically, I think that you'll... I assume you've watched this movie.
You assume that a lot.
No, but this one I'm fairly, like,
Okay.
you have to have seen this movie.
Okay.
If you didn't see this movie, even better.
Oh, good.
Because it's gonna be great. But I gotta think you've seen this movie
All right.
before. This movie came out in 1986. So we were
9.
9. Now, I know for a fact that it was not a movie that we would have seen in the movie theaters.
You or me?
You both, either of
Anyone.
us.
Okay.
Either of us. And but I remember it being a movie that people talked about a lot, and I knew quotes from it before I even saw the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a big one.
It's a big one,
Okay.
for sure. But yeah, it made 149 million in the box office.
Total.
Total.
That's good.
But it wasn't the biggest film for this star in the 1980s.
Okay.
So the star of this film, 80s Prince. 80s Prince, but not Prince.
Okay, I was like, wait, what? This is Purple Rain.
We're not watching Purple Rain. This is a dark fantasy martial arts action comedy.
Wait a second, stop. That's a lot of
I'm going to say it again. Dark fantasy martial arts action comedy. It's all of those things.
martial arts.
It's all in there. It's all in there.
Okay.
And I know you're going to love it so much. This movie was directed by Michael Ritchie, who also directed hits like The Bad News Bears and the Fletch movies.
Okay.
With Chevy Chase.
Sure.
It was written by someone named Dennis Feldman, who prior to this movie had only written one other. That movie, pod favorite, Just One of the Guys.
No way.
Yes. So this is that person's, Dennis Feldman's second script.
Okay.
He also went on to write all of the Species movies.
Species? People have just really just like, they're like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Well, you know what? I get that though. Like as a writer,
yeah.
it's just like, what do you need?
Yeah.
Like, okay, now I'm writing about species.
Species,
whatever.
you got it. You got
okay.
it. How much? All right.
Okay, yeah, I'm in. Can I write that? Yeah,
Sure.
I can write that. Okay, so do you have any guesses as to what this film is?
No, because the only martial arts movie I can think of is Karate Kid. And I know it's not Karate Kid.
It's not
'Cause
Karate
Karate Kid's not dark.
No, it's not.
Wait, hold on. I really just... No, I don't have any idea.
Okay. So this movie stars, like I said, King of the 80s. We have not yet had this person on the podcast, and it's time. It's time to get him on the pod.
Okay.
And the person I'm talking about is Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
You know who that is, right?
Of course I know who Eddie Murphy
That was a long pause.
Okay, just because I was surprised that you said Eddie Murphy, that's all. Okay, but yeah, it's...
And this
he's
movie,
due.
this movie is The Golden Child.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No.
You've never seen this
No.
movie? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you to see it.
I've never seen it.
You've never
I don't
seen
even
it?
know what it's about.
Really?
Except now, dark comedy martial arts.
Oh my gosh, Cam. It's real. Well, what like Eddie Murphy movies did you watch when you were younger? Were you allowed to? Because I remember I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of this stuff.
I think Trading Places
Okay.
with Dan Aykroyd.
I didn't see that when I was younger, though. I think I saw that when I was like a
Yeah.
little older.
Raw, obviously.
I didn't get to
No,
see
I'm
Raw.
just kidding. I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I remember like later Eddie Murphy movies, like what's that one that we love with Steve Martin and
Bowfinger. Bowfinger is a fantastic Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah.
Like such a great performance
and
on
then
his
of
part.
course I don't think I've ever seen any of the movies where he like dresses up in 12 different outfits.
No, but it's interesting. So this movie was rated PG-13, and it was like the first Eddie Murphy movie to be rated PG-13, which is probably why I saw it when I was younger.
Okay.
But his next PG-13 wasn't until he made The Nutty Professor,
Okay.
like in the 90s. So he was more in the R world.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably why we didn't see it. So this movie was originally intended to be, do you know, like Raymond Chandler novels, which are like,
No.
you know, like the gritty kind of, gumshoe mystery kind of thing. So it was supposed to be like a Raymond Chandler movie with dark elements.
Okay.
And they originally wanted Mel Gibson for the lead role, but Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in the Star Trek movie that was coming out, which, what a world, what a universe where Eddie Murphy was going to be in the new Star Trek movie at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, but they actually pulled him off of that movie. And then they got him for this movie.
Okay.
And they kind of reimagined the script because they're like, we got Eddie Murphy now.
Yeah,
we got to make
let's make this great around him.
This has to be like an Eddie Murphy movie. Sure. But it's funny because I did not realize how unloved this movie was.
Yeah.
Because to me, I was just like, The Golden Child was this pinnacle movie of my youth that we just loved so much. And like I said, I knew quotes from this movie before I ever even watched it.
I feel like this falls into a category of movies like that I know the title of it, but like I don't know anything about it. Like the Flamingo Kid. Like there are all these
my God,
movies.
I love the Flamingo Kid.
I wasn't allowed to watch that.
We gotta watch that because it's peak Matt Dillon. We gotta watch that one.
Well, and then I feel like there's another one where isn't there another movie with Golden in the title?
I don't know.
I don't know. Child too.
There's The Golden Child.
Okay.
Oh, I think you're thinking Emperor of the Sun.
Does that have Brad Pitt in it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm confused.
You're very confused, and you're confusing me. But anyway, so this movie was pretty unloved. Like Leonard Maltin, you remember him?
Yeah.
He rated it a bomb.
What?
Yes, and even it made $150 million.
I know, it did pretty well. That's
what
the movie we just watched, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's about what that brought in.
Yeah. Yeah, so. I mean, this was a pretty big movie for the time. Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars.
And what is their rating scale?
I don't know. Sometimes it's stars, sometimes it's thumbs.
Yeah, sometimes is it two stars? Or is it 2 thumbs?
2 thumbs up?
2 thumbs, 5 stars? 4 stars.
We got to look. This is something we need to investigate in our free time, but not right now.
No.
So the quote from Roger Ebert about this movie was, "It may not be the Eddie Murphy movie we were waiting for, but it will do." So this movie came out after a huge Eddie Murphy hit, which was 48 Hours, which I have never seen. And is that your dog barking?
It is.
She's got to stop.
No,
she's kind. She's just worried about something, and it's okay.
So worried about something.
Okay, well, if you guys hear her,
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. She's probably going to be excited to watch this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many of the reviews, even like recent reviews, when I looked at it, really just hated this movie.
And it's a comedy?
It has it has funny comedy elements in it, but it's not. It's also a dark fantasy martial arts action movie as well. Sure. Like it has all of these things going on in it.
You would think that the people that lived with me that knew we were filming a podcast or recording a podcast would make the dogs stop barking. But I guess that's,
Well, do you feel like you want to pause it?
No.
Is it going to bother you too much for us to continue to talk? Because I understand how that is, where you just completely can't focus on discussing things.
Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see how long this is allowed to go on.
Well, I want you to be able to focus and talk because there's a lot of things to talk about with this movie, and I'm excited that you've not seen it before because I think that's going to be fun. But I don't want to talk about the movie as much as I kind of wanted to take a minute just to talk about Eddie Murphy in general, because I do feel like he was such a huge star. And one of the things that I just love about Eddie Murphy is that he and I are basically twins.
What?
His birthday is the day after mine. He's 16 years older than me.
I was going to say, isn't he?
No, sorry. Yeah. He's 16 years older than me, but basically we're twins. So I'll throw that out there. Both incredibly funny and billionaires.
Very talented.
Very talented.
You have lots of children with lots of different women.
Exactly. So he started doing stand-up comedy when he was 15 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, like crazy. He became a cast member on SNL in 1980 when he was 19.
Oh my gosh.
And he was the youngest cast member to ever be cast on there. I don't know. Pete Davidson maybe has gotten close to that. But for a long time, I think he was the youngest cast member ever to be cast on there. He was an SNL cast member from 1980 to 1984, which... very interesting to me. I knew that there was a period of time when Lorne Michaels was not in charge, that was that period of time.
Yeah.
And they say that Eddie Murphy really carried that show throughout that period. And it's funny because those episodes with Eddie Murphy and a lot of those sketches are ones that are just the classic. Just
like Gumby.
Awesome. Yeah, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Buckwheat, hot tub.
Hot tub.
Get in the hot tub. It's so hot.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny because I thought it was just like one lost year or something. I didn't realize it was such a long period of time. And I also didn't realize, and in my mind, there was this year of SNL when it was like Robert Downey Jr. And all these
Michael Hall.
Yeah, like all kinds of randos on there. And I thought that was the one year when Lorne Michael wasn't there. But no, it was like this big stretch of time. And it was still a good show. So, no hating on Lorne Michaels, but at the same time, interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely Lorne Michaels' show, but they've been talking a lot recently because he's getting older about who will replace him when he retires.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and some speculate it might be Tina Fey.
I could see Tina Fey.
I could too.
Yeah. No, that could work. But it's interesting, like Eddie Murphy was he hosted SNL a couple of years ago during a Christmas show.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it's really, really funny.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy is just
I really like
so
him.
great.
He's on an episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and I feel like I really warmed to him then because I always felt like he was very braggadocious, you know what I mean? But I feel like seeing him on that, he was, he was just normal, regular.
Well, it's funny because as I was reading stuff about him, the way it was kind of presented in a lot of things I was reading was like the 80s were this huge decade for him. He, 48 Hours, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Child, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Eddie Murphy Raw, Coming to America, Harlem Nights. He had My Girl Wants to Party All the Time. Like, he had a hit album in the middle of all that. I mean, he was this huge, huge star. And then people are kind of like, oh, well, the 90s, his career got a little bit dicey. And then he kind of came back.
He was just making bank then in the 90s. He had to just be, raking in money on those clump movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And when you just look at the scope of his career over time, he was nominated for an Academy Award for Dreamgirls. So if you look at the span of career, it's so long and he's never really gone anywhere. And I think that part of that is it seems to me like he's a business guy. He's somebody who he does have 10 children with multiple different people, including Mel B, a Spice Girl. But one of the things that I did want to talk about was the Eddie Murphy controversy of the 1990s, which was that there was a big scandal with him in 1997 when he was pulled over by police with a transsexual sex worker in the car with him.
Oh.
You remember this?
Vaguely.
So this was it was 2 years after the Hugh Grant incident, which was similar. Yeah, and apparently in the 1990s, the press was really obsessed with outing people as gay.
Sure.
Which, it's so interesting to me because I look back at the 1990s as a period of time where grunge was really, remember there would be pictures of Kurt Cobain and Anthony Kiedis, in a dress or they kissed or something. Yeah. And I think that's what pushed forward our generation to be like, gayness isn't
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Right. And that's kind of gotten us forward to where we are, the progress that we have made. Mm-hmm. But you forget in the 90s, it definitely was.
Oh, yeah. Cool. And that was very much before the time where it was left to someone to decide when they wanted to come out and make their own decision and decide how they were going to tell people and how they were going to come out.
Right.
It was very it was very much like gotcha kind of stuff.
Well, and they say the place where he picked up this sex worker was a known homosexual sex worker spot in Santa Monica. Mm-hmm. Now, Eddie Murphy wasn't charged, but his publicist kind of made things worse by implying that he was just being a good Samaritan and giving this person a ride. Okay. That was his story.
Sure.
That's what he was sticking with.
Yeah. I'm sure he picked up people on the side of the road all the time.
Well, and that's kind of what he did, an interview about it, and he, got all into, people don't know all the good works I do, and I help people out all the time. When I see homeless people, I give them money, which...
Sure, very well may be true.
Right. Could he have totally seen this person presented themselves as a woman? So could he have seen this young woman and said...
Or maybe he was just exploring.
Maybe he was. I know. That's the thing. I don't really think it's that... when I read about the interview and the incident, I tend to go with the Occam's razor, where the most obvious thing is what it was. Yeah. He was picking up a person for sex.
That's okay.
It's fine. I mean, he did have a wife at the time, that's not okay.
That's the thing about Hugh Grant's thing, too. It's not about the fact that whatever he wanted whatever he wanted to do, but he was married to or dating seriously Elizabeth Hurley at the time.
Right.
So, like, and that's always my thing. Like, Dan Savage, the sex columnist, you know who Dan Savage is.
Yes.
He speaks a lot about, like, well, people aren't meant to be with one single person, and that's fine, whatever you believe. But at the same time, like, if you have an agreement, agreement and a commitment with someone, that's where the problem comes in.
Oh, absolutely. That's what a relationship is. It's trust, it's commitment. Right. And if you have a relationship with someone where you're like, listen, I need to be with other people.
Right. And you've both mutually agreed on that.
Totally fine.
Fine.
Right.
But at the same time, if it's all secretive or whatever, and we don't know, maybe Eddie Murphy's wife was fine with it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's totally fine too. But here's an really interesting part of this story is that almost exactly a year later, the sex worker whose name was Shalimar Sueli died when she accidentally fell off of a building, which sounds like not true. But what happened was she got locked out. And she tried to get down by using a towel as a rope to swing down, and it just...
She watched too many movies where people tied sheets together and...
I know.
Oh, shit.
I know.
That sucks.
That does suck.
Ugh.
So, yeah, so she died, which is, like, crazy and sad. But I also want to talk about another controversy with this movie.
Okay.
So the other lead in this film's name is Charlotte Lewis, and she is this young and beautiful woman. And I was shocked to find out that she was 18 when they made this movie, which this woman does not look 18 at all. Like, they make her look like a fully like, 32-year-old woman in this movie. Eddie Murphy was 24 or 25 when it was made. Okay. So he was pretty young as well, which is so weird. When I watch these movies, we talked about this with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I can't see these people as being younger than me.
Right.
It's just crazy to me.
I know.
But anyway, so her first film was made a couple of years before this one, and it was a movie called Pirates by Roman Polanski. She was 16 when that movie was made. So... in 2010, she came out with accusations that Roman Polanski sexually assaulted her at that time, which, how could you ever, Roman Polanski?
It totally tracks.
Who could believe that?
Oh, my God.
But she was smeared in the press because of it. Because, Roman Polanski is such a good guy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, that dude, if listeners don't know, was accused of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl. But, a 16-year-old, who would think that he would, a beautiful 16-year-old girl in one of his movies? Yeah. Doesn't make sense. The movie also stars Charles Dance, who you'll recognize, or Dancy, you'll recognize him. He was in Game of Thrones. He was like the villain guy. Did you not watch Game of Thrones?
No, I won't recognize him then.
Okay then. But yeah, this movie, I'm so excited for you to watch it. So let's go watch it, and we'll come back and talk more about it.
Confidently controversial.
Bing, 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 bang, bang, bang. That's the soundtrack.
I missed that somehow.
I feel like that was something that stood out to me a lot in rewatching this, is that the soundtrack is very, like, synth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super 80s.
So super 80s. So tell me what you think. That's the first time you ever saw that movie.
Yeah.
You got a face on.
It's going to be the last.
Well, why don't you just recap this a little bit for those who may not have seen this movie?
I had a feeling you were going to ask me to do this. So there's a young boy in Tibet who is the golden child, in that his destiny is to save the world.
Excellent.
And he, in the beginning, gets stolen.
Sure.
And then the chosen one lives in Los Angeles.
And is.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes, it is.
And he is a social worker.
He is.
I read.
Is that what he is? I thought he was like a private investigator.
No, he's a social worker.
It's interesting though, because in that one part when the real detectives are on the case, when they find that woman dead.
Yeah, Cheryl Murphy.
Like they say something about, did you get that referral or something?
Yeah, you would refer to a social worker.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's what they described him as. So he's the social worker chosen one who is like obsessed with finding missing kids.
Weird.
Yeah, red flag. And then, so he gets,
and they don't really give you any backstory as to why he's so, because then you also see him playing basketball with kids. So he obviously cares about kids.
Yeah, maybe too much.
But like they don't in other movies. I feel like they would tie that up somehow.
You'd be like, oh, his little brother died, or you know what I mean. Like that's my assumption is that like he has a tie to children because something tragic happened.
It almost makes you feel like they were just as if they said, okay, we have Eddie Murphy. We don't need to put much more thought into it. We're just going to take Eddie Murphy and we're going to put him in this situation.
I will say that is basically what happened in this movie because he carries the whole movie.
He does.
Like him not being in it, this movie is a turd. It is not good at all if he's not in it.
But it's funny because when Eddie Murphy has talked about this movie after the fact, he said it didn't come out well, but the original script was really good.
I read something like he passed up like 20 other movies to do this one because he was like a really hot commodity at the time.
He was going to be in Star Trek.
Yeah. So he was like, no, that's the one. But I think but knowing that, I'm just like, I don't get it.
Well, like I said, he said that the original script was that was my shoulder.
Did you just pop? The people definitely heard that.
Really?
I'm sure of
that was a shoulder pop.
Jesus. People, you're just sitting still.
I like flexed it. Okay. Anyway,
okay, sorry.
But I think it has elements that could be interesting, but they don't pay off as they need that little extra something like a little backstory for the guy. Could we get a little bit of backstory?
Right.
Could we build up the love affair between him and Key a little bit?
Yeah, and the girl, she doesn't have any. She just comes out of nowhere.
She's just like a powerhouse who comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. Like,
well, we're gonna have to because it's a podcast
about talking about that.
We're gonna have to talk about that.
I know. But I wanted to tell you something that I found out because I'm afraid I'm gonna forget. But
okay, tell me.
If you search, Eddie Murphy wears this like cool little leather cap in the movie.
What kind of hat is that?
I don't know, but there's a rap song called Eddie Murphy Golden Child Hat. and it's by a band, a group called Silk Money. And the S in silk is a $.
Oh my gosh. If only we could find that song and
use it. Find it.
For, okay.
Yeah, it's findable and it's playable, but I don't know what the rules are about that.
Yeah, so we're not going to play it.
Yeah, it's called
Eddie Murphy Golden Child Hat. Can you read us some of the lyrics to it, perhaps?
Sure.
Is there any?
As I take down my 2-strand twist and hit this spliff, contemplating conversations with my inner kid like, did I make you proud or did I travel routes you wouldn't have did? Trying to get it like how I live.
Okay, stop. That was a bad idea to have you read the lyrics. I take it back. Stop it.
And did I fuck bitches you wouldn't have hit? I checked the lyrics to see if they made mention of that, and they don't.
They don't?
Mm-mm.
You... Okay, let me just take a step back here. Okay. Were you Googling that hat to see if you could purchase that hat?
I was Googling it to find out what the deal was with it. I wanted to know more about the hat, and then it came up and it was like, play this song? And I was like, oh my God.
I mean, it's an incredible hat.
And you can buy it if you want.
I mean, I don't want to. I don't think I could pull it off. You could pull it off, though.
I don't think I could.
A nice leather cap.
Circle cap.
Circle hat.
It's like a
brimless
chef hat. Short leather.
You would describe
short black leather chef hat.
It's a nice hat. It's a very nice hat. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit more about this movie. What were the things that, stood out for you a lot watching it for the first time?
Well, the blood in the oatmeal.
Blood in the oatmeal. I mean, that sticks with you.
Impactful. And apparently they're putting the blood in the oatmeal to feed to this child of this person to make her impure. Yeah, to make the kid who's actually a little girl. Right. Making him impure so that they could
take him down.
Yeah, like if he became weakened by this bloody oatmeal.
I would be weakened by that bloody oatmeal. I'd be like, oh, kill me.
If I scooped my oatmeal the way they did it, and it was like, and the blood just like rose to the top.
Yeah, I remember that being a big impactful thing.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It is a lot.
I think that other parts that stood out to me were the Pepsi can dancing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is it?
It's fun.
Weird. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But it is what it is. What else? The chanting. I humbly beg you for us to have that knife. And they make
I want the knife. Right. Please. That whole scene was the scene that I love so much. Yeah. And I love that part when he has to walk in the room and walk across the things and there's no bottom. That part fascinated me a lot as a child.
It definitely had like an Indiana Jones Goonies vibe.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like an adventure movie, but I guess I didn't realize it was that. I didn't realize Eddie Murphy had ever been in a movie that was like this.
Like an action movie?
Not really. I wouldn't.
Because he was in action movies.
I know, but I wouldn't call this an action movie.
What would you call it?
An adventure movie.
A magical adventure movie.
Yeah, and it was sci-fi.
I mean, a little bit.
No,
there's definitely that. It's like a magical realism. It's like a magical realism mixed with an anti-hero. But I guess he's also heroic. They do like, you like him. You like his character.
He's for sure the best part of the whole movie. Like, and yeah, I mean, but there's like mystical creatures and there's magic.
Yeah, there's that snake lady.
Oh, that made me so mad.
Why did it make you so mad?
They build up this thing with this like mysterious Asian woman behind this curtain. And, like, they go and talk to her, and she's, like, so wise and full of wisdom. And you see her silhouette, and she's smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
With her hand all weird. Smoking a cigarette. and, like, you're like, oh, okay. Like, what's the thing? What's the thing going to be? And then he basically rips the curtain, and she's just like... She has a snake body and does this like little movement and that's it. And it's just like done and it's just a knot.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of fun parts in this. I think the part where it's the dream sequence that's part dream, part real, where it's like he's in a sitcom kind of a thing where there's the audience laughing.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then they have the audience sign and stuff. It's weird.
It is a weird movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I still enjoy it.
And then there's this there's this part in the middle where we're like establishing story. And you have this demon voiceover.
Oh, that demon voice is the voice of Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Oh.
Did you watch Inspector Gadget?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, I don't know. We didn't watch the same things, apparently.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. And then the bad guy is this like mystical, magical magician.
Who dresses so great.
Great?
Like vampire. Posh vampire.
Posh, yeah, but I don't understand. But why posh vampire? Because he's the devil.
Yeah, that's how the devil dresses, Kim. Expensive clothes. Sharp. I mean, how else would you expect the devil to dress?
I don't know. I just didn't.
Like in your vision of the devil.
Jason Sudeikis in the all red silk suit.
Okay, you're right.
That's the way the devil dresses.
Got it. No, that makes sense. This guy's more like vampire devil.
Yeah.
Like fancy vampire.
Fancy vampire devil magician.
But you didn't so in the end he takes on his demon form in the end of this, and you had a very strong reaction to the demon form of Sardanumspa.
Yeah, because it was weak.
Why was it weak? He was strong.
No, it was a scrawny like skeleton devil. And with a pot belly.
A little paunch.
It was weird. It was like someone was like, oh God, we need a devil. Can you draw? And the guy's like, not really. And they're like, well, let me see what you can do. And he drew it. And they were like, it's okay. Maybe a little more belly. And he's like, all right.
Well, yeah, you're right. With anything, when they're making these movies, you have a whole team of people who's looking at every element.
Right.
It's not as if someone would, for a major part of the film, someone would just say, okay, go ahead and
they
make
didn't
a
get to
demon.
the movie theater when this thing was released and be like, wait, that's what the devil looks like? We didn't know.
They did that well, maybe, because it was probably done in an after
Oh,
effect.
you don't think it was the real devil? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're implying?
No, but there probably were people, like Eddie Murphy probably didn't see that demon until he saw the movie and he walked out.
Right. And he was like, what the fuck is this?
I thought it was a demon.
Right.
This is a claymation.
Right. And then he was like, next time I do a movie, put it in my contract. I need to see the devil.
I need to see it beforehand.
Beforehand.
But yeah, anything in a movie or anything.
Yeah, there were multiple layers of approval.
Multiple layers of approval. Many people looked at this demon. Although I can imagine something like that started as a drawing and could have been a really scary, interesting drawing. But then you had to take that drawing and make a claymation out of it that looked, you had to animate it somehow. And I feel as if the effect is where it lost its mojo.
Oh, yeah. There were definitely parts where you could see it like superimposed on top of the movie. I mean, it wasn't good effects, but irregardless of their ability to make those effects a reality, like, it wasn't a good.
Like the design
of the devil was bad.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It wasn't scary. It was like kind of like,
I don't know.
Lumpy.
Yeah. It was a little lumpy. It was a little cartoonish.
Scrawny. Yeah.
It wasn't realistic looking. It was kind of like, I don't know. That's the sound it makes. I'm a devil. So this is the part where I break it down and I talk about the things that struck me while watching it. Okay. And just in terms of content we're putting into our little baby brains.
Sure.
I put into my little baby brain watching this movie. I would say while Eddie Murphy is hysterically funny, and you see why he is a star. I mean, anytime he is on screen and he is talking, it's delightful. He's like the way he speaks, his laugh.
Can you do the Eddie Murphy laugh?
No, it sounds like wait. Can you do it?
I don't think so.
No. Stop it. No, this part. We're going to cut this all out.
I can't.
Yeah. So I think the characters...
Let's keep trying.
I'm not. We're going to stop now. Please stop. Please stop
Sorry.
it. The character himself, as we said before, he's a nice guy. They set him up to be a nice guy, and I think there's no reason not to believe that he's not pure in his desire to help people. But I think where things get a little bit dicey and a little spicy is when we introduce the female lead in this, who, as I said before we went and watched this, she was 18 years old. Doesn't that blow your mind when you see her?
She fully does not look like an 18-year-old person.
No, she looks 30.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah.
And I have no idea, even in casting her, that they'd say, oh, let's get this 18-year-old.
Lovely.
She's lovely. She does a great job, but she is so objectified in this.
Oh.
Even while, and it's funny because I think somebody probably thought they were doing a good thing on one hand because her character is very powerful.
Yes.
At one point, Eddie Murphy's telling her, stay in the car. I'm going to go take care of this biker gang.
Right.
You stay here. And she doesn't, but she comes in and you see that she's actually a badass.
And she knows some sort of martial arts.
She takes them down.
Right.
She takes down the bad guys in that thing. But even with that, so I feel as if the people who made this movie were saying, no, she's a strong female lead. She can do all this stuff. But while they have that going on, they also objectify the shit out of this woman.
Someone was like, look at this strong, powerful woman. We need to make her savable. So let's drench her in water.
Sure.
And show her boobs through her white shirt with no bra on. Anytime
she's being powerful and she's fighting and everything, she's also just half naked or, she wears this white outfit when she's going to fight the guys in the first part. And like literally 2 seconds after she kicks ass, she's sprayed down with water so that it's like a wet t-shirt contest happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in his dream reality thing, she's wearing like a leather corset, like top thing, and she's wrapped up in toilet paper.
Yes.
So that's very much symbolic of like, she could have, she's more powerful than them, obviously, but she needs to be saved.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. They definitely set her up. And then so there's one part in this where Eddie Murphy's character has to go to Tibet to get the Ajante dagger.
Yeah.
Yes. The cross dagger of Ajante.
Okay.
So he has to go to Tibet, and he doesn't want to go to Tibet, and I agree with him.
Cold.
Well, I agree with him. I would never want to go there either. But he's been trying to like get her to come up to his apartment and, have sex with her throughout this movie. But it's at that point that she decides that she will go upstairs with him and have sex with him. And it makes you believe that that's the only reason she's doing that, is she has sex with him to say, because the very next morning, the first thing out of her mouth is, "Oh, okay, so you're going to go to Tibet, right?"
Oh, they do.
She sleeps over his house.
Where was I?
I don't know. Where were you? You didn't see that part?
No.
You were on your phone.
No, I wasn't.
Kim, you were on your phone.
No, I saw
you were looking for that hat.
I was listening to the song.
So yeah, she totally gets...
But you didn't see them smooch or anything before, did you?
No, she goes upstairs to his... You don't see her go upstairs, but he asks her. He doesn't ask her, and then she's like, "You're not going to ask me to go upstairs?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, please."
Well, remember he says something like, "I give a woman at least 2 chances to say no."
But this is later.
That's after?
Yeah. So they find out that he has to go to Tibet, and Eddie Murphy's like, "Hell no, I'm not going to Tibet." So then she takes him back to his apartment.
Oh, okay.
And he's getting out of the car to just go. And the woman says, "You're not going to ask me upstairs this time?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? I've been asking you every time. I'm whatever."
Oh, okay.
And then he says, "Yes, please come upstairs. Please, please." And then then they cut to the next morning, and she's waking up in his bed, and she's just kind of saying like, "Okay, now we're going to Tibet, so let's go."
I see. Okay.
So so she definitely has sex with him to get him to go to Tibet. But then all of a sudden they get to Tibet, and she's just fully in love with him, fully talking to her weird dad who picks his nose. Grandpoo.
Or whatever.
I don't know. Grandpoop with his boogies on his shirt.
Ugh. Yeah, who's fully American.
Yes.
Like no accent whatsoever. No even implied accent.
If he does have an accent, it's more of a Hispanic accent.
Or like New York.
Yeah, like I felt like, something like that.
Yeah.
Certainly not Tibetan.
And he keeps calling Chandler asswipe.
Yes, he does. And I recall that being a very funny part.
I'm sure when you were a kid.
Yeah, you better get that boogie off your shirt before it freezes and you scratch yourself. It's great. Yeah. It's a great line. But yeah, I think all of a sudden she's in love with him and he's in love with her, and there's no buildup or any kind of even chemistry between the two of them that would lead you to believe that they are actually in love with each other.
Right. And then like a couple movies ago, we were making fun of the fact, like the near miss kiss. You know what I mean? Or like that moment of like longing and looking into one another's eyes that happens when when they're usually building up a romance. And we mocked it in another one, but it could have used it in this one.
It could have used it. Yeah, there's no buildup that they're in love with each other, which again, as other people watching this, young people watching this movie, it's just, oh, I had sex with her, I'm in love with her now, and she's just fully, I'm going to marry him.
Yeah, and they really jump soon into like, the dad's like, so when you tell me that you're going to marry him, just know that you have my approval.
Right. It's like they literally 2 days ago had sex for the first time together.
And they're also, their heightened sense of emotion because they're on this adventure. What if they don't really like each other when things get normal?
Yeah, true.
He's just like playing basketball with his kids. And she's like, enough already.
Right.
Come inside.
And also, what else does she do? What did she do?
Yeah, what's her job?
I don't know that she has one. She just goes to find the chosen one. And it's him, but now his job is done. And
then at the end, they imply that she has to go back to Tibet with the chosen one.
No, not with the chosen one, with the golden child.
Oh, with the golden child.
She's got to deliver the golden child back to Tibet, but then she's going to come back.
But then she'll be off.
And then she's done.
This case is done.
Her whole job is done.
Maybe she got a lot of money for this, for saving the chosen one, or the golden child.
I don't think it was about the money. I think it was about, saving human civilization. I think that's what it was about.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he didn't get paid for it.
Well, he did something. He's a social worker. He probably got modest salary.
From who? The people he works for?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, is he an independent social worker?
Independent?
I mean, don't you get the vibe? He's not working for anyone. He doesn't have a boss.
So. But also at the same time, like, that girl is missing and she's found murdered and he's just there taking pictures with his Polaroid and everyone's okay with it.
Well, it seems as if he has a relationship with the police department. They know him. They know he's a good guy.
Is he? What's he doing with those photos? So,
what are you implying?
I don't know. I watched Dahmer.
That's very true. It's very true. Another thing that's funny in this, there's a biker gang, the Yellow Dragons, and there's a lot of dragon stuff throughout. Yellow. They wear no yellow. There is a yellow dragon on the wall, but there's like later at different points in the movie, there's references to yellow dragons, golden dragon. What does it mean, Kim?
I don't know.
But also that biker gang. It just made me think there was a lot of biker gang talk when we were younger. Mm-hmm. What did they do? I mean, they were into some light human trafficking where they sold the girl for cigarettes. Some light human trafficking. Okay, I mean, one person. It didn't seem like it was something they did all the time. They're just like, oh, we had this girl. You want this girl? Okay, give us some cigarettes and some fried rice.
Yeah. And are they the ones that put the graffiti all over the walls?
That was the devil. And there's also some interesting people in the devil's gang, like his foot soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe vaguely, like, offensive for a few of them.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't understand that gang of guys. Sure.
I do think that there's a lot of mocking of different cultures in this. When Eddie Murphy is first introduced into this, he's very dismissive and kind of jokey and laughy about these things that are part of the Tibetan culture. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, weird. You guys are so weird. Which, I don't know. And what are your thoughts on being a Tibetan monk? Something you'd like to do?
Seems peaceful. Quiet.
This is going back. This whole show is going to end with you and I just making the announcement that we found the cult that we are going to be joining. We found the one.
It involves comfy robes and sitting. Some light chanting every now and again. And a snack. Yeah, but you have to eat those leaves. Like the golden child just plucks those little leaves and that's how he eats. Survives. That's how he survives. Because he doesn't want to eat the blood oatmeal. I assume that's not what he normally eats.
No. But I also kind of took it as he's eating these leaves and they're because he's so pure and he's so godlike. All he needs is a leaf to give him the sustenance.
Okay.
It's like, the story of the oil for Hanukkah. It lasted for 8 days. It's just like that. That's what I take it as. So, anything else you want to say about this movie before we move on?
No, I don't think I do. I think we said everything that there was to say about it.
Okay, well, it's Spader time.
Yeah, you have to chant the Spader.
Spader.
No. No.
That's not what you wanted me to do. Oh, you want me to do that? I have a Spader.
Better. Thank you.
Do you want me to tell it to you?
In a chant, yes.
We have a direct connect.
What?
Yes, it's a direct connect between this movie and Mr. James Spader. Would you like to hear it?
I would.
Okay. So our favorite, Charlotte Lewis, the gorgeous young lady in this film, yes, she was in a film called Storyville in 1992 with James Spader.
Wow.
Yes, and it had to do with the red light district in New Orleans.
Oh.
It wasn't badly reviewed.
Okay.
There was, in the one review I read, they said that it was a great performance by James Spader in this movie. But like a lot of James Spader movies, I'm starting to pick up on.
A little sexy.
I don't know if it was sexy. I just don't think it made very much money. That's why he maybe, that's, but we love him anyway. Sure. And the budget on this film was $115 million.
It's called Storyville.
Storyville. Do you want to know how much money it made?
Yes, please.
Okay. It made $422,000.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Sounds like a real gem.
I know. I kind of feel like it was a sad, like I read those numbers and I felt sad. For James Spader. Yeah. Like, that was a sad day.
And the girl.
Yeah. Like, I feel, well, she ended up being in Playboy, too.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, but I also feel as if there seems like there was maybe some trauma that happened to her getting into this world when she was young. And you know what? I don't want to leave this podcast on this note because Viva Nepal.
What?
Viva Nepal.
Okay. All right.
I like when you get to a point in any of these things. There always comes a time when Kim is just done with me.
I'm not done with you. I'm never done with you. Well, we thank you for listening to the podcast.
So formal. We thank you, kind sirs, for listening to this podcast. And what's your job?
Listening to the podcast. That's my chant.
Oh, that's good. What's the job that the people have to do?
They have to rate and review us and follow us.
And what else do they have to do?
Tell a friend. Damn it.
God damn it, people. Tell a friend.
It's Thanksgiving time. You should have been talking about us at your Thanksgiving dinner.
If you used even one fact that you learned about these movies, and you told someone else about them, you owe us.
That's right.
And you don't. We like you anyway. But tell somebody about it.
You should go on and follow us on Instagram at Confidently Controversial. You should watch our TikToks at Confidently Contro.
Correct.
And you should visit our website because it's kind of fun. And that's...
Kim picks good pictures for all of our things.
ConfidentlyControversial.com.
That's it.
Yeah. And how do we want to wrap this up? You want to be, not super... controversial.
Well, you're doing it backwards.
Oh, so you do it.
Okay.
Sorry.
God.
I don't know anything about this podcast. I'm new.
So what I will say then is that even if you don't know what's happening around you at any point in time, I want you to be confident.
Okay.
I want you to be confident and know that you're good and you're doing great.
And I'm the chosen one.
You're the chosen one.
Yes.
Yes. So be confident.
Okay. But
Okay.
Don't be a scrawny devil.
That would be controversial.
Right.
All right. Thanks, guys. We love you.
Bye.
Controversial. Confidently controversial.